Hey, what's up? How's it going? This is Tiff here for your Feel Good Friday. So I was gonna write an email and I've started writing it, and it just takes so freaking long to sit down and type things out and then edit them, whatever. I'm like, I'm just gonna do a video and talk about it. So I really want to talk today about practicing how to follow the feel good in difficult circumstances. So I live on the Big Island of Hawaii, and you may or may not have heard that we live on an active volcano, and it has been erupting this past week. So there's a lot happening, there's a lot of action, and it also feels like there's a little bit of chaos because there's actually lava flowing and roads are being closed and people are being displaced from their homes, and lava is taking out people's homes. So you also may know, if you have been following me for a little while, that when I first came to Hawaii, I started at a retreat center on the Big Island, and that retreat center has just been shut down because of the location and a myriad of other things. But needless to say, there's lots going on. And I have a lot of friends whom I lived with at the retreat center who live in the area, and they are either trying to stay down there or are being displaced. And in anticipation, because Ken and I are not right in the zone there, we're actually in town, so we're not in danger as of right now. It's an active volcano, anything could happen, it could change direction, whatever, but we're fine right now. So life carries on as usual, but I have friends who have been asking to come stay here at our house. And that has just been bringing up a lot for me and has been forcing me to really practice what I preach and follow the feel good. And you may have heard my mantra, it's on my website, which is, when you take care of you, everyone else benefits too. And sometimes it's really hard to do that. Because I do carry guilt and obligation. I want to help my friends. Obviously, if it's a situation where they really are needing somewhere and they've just lost their home, then of course I want to help out. So I've been assessing the situation here, and I do have one friend staying with me right now. But in the process of that, one thing leads to another, and then there's other people asking, and where do I draw the line? Because I know me. And I'm going to be completely honest, when I have people at my house, I tend to go a little bit crazy because I need a lot of personal space, and my home space is like the one place where I get to go, and I live and work from home. So, it's like I just like to do things my way without other people around. And as soon as it's been a few days of having guests, like my dad always says, guests are great for the first 3 days, but then they're like fish, they start to smell. So that's a funny one. Anyhow, I've been having to really look at that. Okay, what does it mean when you take care of you, everyone else benefits too? So obviously I want to help these people out, but not at the expense of my own well-being, because if I start going crazy, then that's not going to be good for anyone. So what does that look like? How can I say yes, but in a way that also serves me? Because if I give my power away for the sake of somebody else, then it doesn't serve anyone, right? The feel good, two people have to meet and find the feel good. That's why relationships are so important, and why I encourage people to break up with one another when one person isn't really feeling it. Because if you stay in a relationship out of guilt or obligation, you're actually preventing the other person from finding their path. So I had this awesome conversation with my friend this morning who's staying here, because I have felt like, okay, listen, what feels good to me is you can stay up until this certain point, and in the meantime I want you to figure out what are your next moves. And I felt really empowered by that instead of guilt, because that is forcing her to look at what her next moves are. What does she really want? She's able to create she was already in a shift, and so this is just propelling that shift. I could say stay here for as long as you want, but I was feeling like that was going to just make it really, really easy, and there is going to be more like stagnation. And in that time period, I would probably turn into an angry person, and it just wouldn't be good for anyone. I don't want to lose friendships. I'm not saying that would totally happen, because I can manage myself, but it's okay for me to have a preference. I hope I'm not rambling. It's just such a good lesson, because it's really hard to say no when you feel like that's what you need to do for you, because all this stuff comes up. Oh, I'm selfish. I feel bad. It's just all this guilt and obligation and this sense of being selfish when there's bigger things happening right now. But at the same time, are there bigger things happening? So my point for you is, on this Friday, is like, what have you been able to say no to this week? This was a really big one for me, so I wanted to share it with you. It may change, it will probably evolve, but this is what has felt right so far, and we can reassess the situation in a few days' time. And that's fine, because that gives me the ability to feel empowered, for both of us to be empowered and to continue the communication. Yeah. So what are you doing? Where do you feel selfish and you feel like you have to say yes because you're trying to put the other needs, like maybe they're more important than your own? How can you serve yourself in a way that will also encourage the other person to serve themselves? Sometimes it's easier said than done this week for me. That's why I really wanted to share it with you. What can you say no to and feel good about it too? How can you help someone else move through their challenges in a way that will feel empowering to you both? I encourage you to do that, and let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and let me know. I love you so much, so much. It's really great to get this off of my chest. I feel like it's just really nice to come through the other side having practiced what I preach, and there probably will be more of this, because there's still lots of chaos and drama right now on the island, but at least I have better awareness of moving through this. And that's what I encourage for you too. It's looking at your feelings, understanding where they're coming from, and then moving forward. You always want to move forward from a place of feel good, not from guilt or obligation, or because you don't want to come across as selfish. You have to learn to shift that into an empowering place, because that's when you feel the energetic flow. So we just had a really good conversation, and there was lots of energy flowing from the universe, and I feel like I have helped propel that person into a path of significance, not stagnation. Yeah, that's my goal always, for you to follow the feel good, is to pick up the pace, get it done. Okay, I love you. I'll see you later. Aloha.